Hello, we're back. Been a while. We've been on hiatus. It seems like. Um, this week we got probably one of the biggest games of our fans' career. We got Bears Packers, and then I just found out that my team is going to be hosting the 2027 Winter Classic. So
That's a big get for you guys.
it's a big, very big for us. I mean, especially for like year three.
It's a big deal, and it's a growing sport out there in Utah, and to be able to get something that quickly, that's only going to make things even better for you.
That is true. But what I'll say is, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Shot of Sports podcast. Grab a drink and snack. This is your weekly dose of sports, where we'll do a deep dive of the world of sports, whether you're a casual fan or a diehard. We're here to bring you the latest, the best analysis, and the hottest takes. Go ahead, subscribe, like, share, even hit the leave a comment. We appreciate all the feedback. Tap the notification bell on the right so you can be notified whenever we drop, so you don't miss one. Today we got on the show, we got no Nazir today, but we have Nolan, Drew, and Chris. How was everybody's weekend? Even though we're about to have another one.
Good.
It's good to be back.
Yeah, it's good to be back on. It's been a minute.
We got a lot to talk about.
For sure. So without further ado, we might as well just jump right into the first topic. We got the NFL playoff breakdown. So what that means is we're going to break down the NFL playoffs that we have. So now we see our playoff bracket. There are probably a couple surprises there, like the Steelers game, and you got the Panthers there. Who would have thought we would see those two, especially the Panthers this season, from where they were last year or where they were previously post Tom Brady, but now they seem like to be back in the forefront of being one of the best teams in football within a few years.
I guess my follow-up question is, just looking at these initial round of wild card matchups, what is the most likely upset? What road team has the best chance of going into someone else's house and taking the win and moving on to the divisional?
As an upset, I wouldn't say maybe, because when you look at the AFC side, all those teams can beat each other. That's just how good they are. But when you look at the NFC side, the Panthers and the Rams aren't really too big of an upset. The Eagles and 49ers are practically even. The biggest upset, if it was to happen, would be the Packers beating the Bears at Soldier Field.
The thing about that game is, though, it's not really an upset either, because the line's about as even as you can possibly get. I know prediction markets aren't everything, but Kalshi of this game had a literal 50-50 toss-up the other day.
Yeah, I would say the biggest upset would probably have because of just how evenly matched those other teams are, and how the Packers are injured, and how the Bears are supposed to be the best offense or top third offense in football. That's what I've seen. It's just a matter of, like, can it happen, right? Or they're without Micah Parsons now. Jordan Love coming off a concussion protocol and hasn't played in 2 weeks. That I feel like that would probably be the biggest upset, just because of the defensive standpoint. But you could argue saying the Chargers going into Foxborough and beating the Patriots would be an upset, just because of how average they look. But you can't say the Bills would be an upset, because the Bills were supposed to make a deep playoff run at the beginning of the season, and nobody would be surprised if they beat Jacksonville. So
the biggest upset would actually be if a home team would be if the Panthers beat the Rams. That would be the biggest upset of Wild Card Weekend. Like,
true.
Nobody's giving Carolina any shot, myself included. It's a great story to have that team here, especially after all they've gone through. But I think Carolina, like, they have the littlest odds to win this week out of any team I see here. Like you said, I mean, all the games I think are evenly matched except that one. I mean, I don't see how the Rams don't come away with a win there. I mean, the Panthers would have to play a perfect game, and the Rams would have to make so many mistakes. I don't think it's possible for them to win. I really don't.
Yeah, I
just-
mean,
Go
it's
ahead, Chris.
tough because I think Carolina is, well, like you said, they need pretty much everything to go right, and they've had a couple of those games this year. Green Bay was incredibly inefficient against them. The first time they played the Rams, Bryce Young balled out. The Rams made a ton of mistakes in that game, which is what helped them get the win. I think there's a couple games here where I see a clear favorite. Not necessarily that it's impossible to pull an upset, but I think Pittsburgh's got a bit of an uphill battle against Houston, even with DK Metcalf coming back. That defense is just something else. And Pittsburgh's defense has kind of been inconsistent this year. It's a little bit leaky. I think New England definitely has an upper hand against the Chargers. That offensive line for Justin Herbert's just not good. Just straight up not good. There's nothing there. And then obviously the Rams, Panthers. But I think Jags, Bills, Eagles, Niners, and Packers, Bears are all complete toss-ups and can go in any direction.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at everything here, and I'm trying to figure out who we learn the most about with a win. And I really can't pick any one person out because, I mean, Texans you can label it's the defensive thing, and especially if they can take down Rodgers in the playoffs, that's going to be a big for them. If you look at, I was trying to think about how the Jaguars could maybe prove something here. They've obviously been on a great run to finish this season, but I mean, Buffalo definitely has a chance to go into their place and take them down. You can literally look around any one of those games, but I mean, obviously, given where we all are sitting right now, the biggest ones for us is going to be Chicago and Green Bay. And it's been, I can for one say it's been absolute chaos in Green Bay, just looking through all the scenarios, a lot of people have concerns. A lot of people are optimistic. It's very much within the fan base. There's a lot going on. And I mean, it's not like either side is super duper healthy. They're getting healthier. I mean, obviously the Bears are going to get Rome Odunze. They're going to get Kyler Gordon back, but Packers are looking like they might get Zach Tom back. And that might be huge for them, given what their offensive line situation has
Jordan
been.
Love back.
Yeah, Jordan Love obviously is a huge
Josh
addition back
Jacobs
as
is
well.
going to be probably the healthiest he's been in a while as well, which I mean, that's big in the run game. Packers haven't had a ton of they haven't been super effective in the run game this year, and the Bears D lineman is made up of Montez Sweat and a couple of used car salesmen. So, I mean, they're going to have to be able to run the ball. And I mean, it goes the same way for Chicago. If they want to win this game, the biggest thing is going to be the run game. If they can establish the run game early with Swift and Monungai, Green Bay is going to have a lot of troubles. The same thing goes the other way. If both offenses are efficient, we could see a very high-scoring game. Obviously, Chicago, I think, has the upper hand a bit in the fourth quarter just because Caleb Williams, for as much as I dislike him just because he's a Bear, he's incredibly clutch. Ben Johnson really turns it up to 11 in the fourth, and that's why they've been able to win so many close games. They've been able to control that fourth quarter.
Speaking of Packers Bears, saw Jalen wearing his Bears hat, so I think it's only fitting if we were
Gotta
the Packers
represent.
here too.
Gotta have a
Gotta
little balance,
represent.
right?
Gotta rep it out.
No
Look-
need to wear Broncos apparel.
Yeah, you got a bye week with them too. How awesome would it be for you to see like a Broncos Bears Super Bowl? Who would you be rooting for in that one?
Because I've already seen the Broncos win a Super Bowl already, I would root for the Bears.
Mhm.
Tight logic there. This Bears Packers game. Look, obviously it's going to be important to establish the run like it is in any game, but the Packers are going to have to win this one through the air. And I really think this game is going to hinge on how healthy Kyler Gordon is. If he does play, how effective is he going to be? Those groin injuries, they linger. They're not fun. I just think that Green Bay is going to need to play the way they've been playing all year, and that is win through the air. I mean, they've like Chris said, they haven't been effective on the ground, and they have rarely established a rushing attack in many games I've seen this year. So I mean, it's all going to hinge on who's healthier. I think the Bears defense, if they are, you know, if they get Kyler Gordon back and if they're somewhat healthy, I think they're going to take this one because I don't know. Green Bay's defense is hard to trust right now. They are really hard to trust.
I mean, but you could say the same thing about Chicago. There's a clear weakness in that secondary, and it's speed. And the Packers have multiple guys. I mean, Matthew Golden didn't do a ton this year, but he runs a 4.29. Christian Watson runs a 4.3. Jane Reed's got burners. That's the biggest thing for the Chicago defense is being able to slow Green Bay down. I mean, we saw Christian Watson scoring a touchdown in the game in Lambeau just off a simple crossing route. He beat C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Now, C.J. Gardner-Johnson's probably going to be out for this game, but the principle's still there. Jalen Johnson did not have a good game last week. Kyler Gordon, like you said, is really going to be an X factor for this Chicago team because they don't have a pass rush. Neither of these teams really have that good of a pass rush, and ever since Michael went down, like it's going to come down to the secondary, and like Chicago's just not fast back there. That's their problem. They don't have speed. And they've been relying on turnovers most of the season to kind of get by on that side of the ball. And a couple of the podcasts that I listen to say turnovers dry up during the playoffs a lot of the times. Those turnover-happy teams aren't able to force them at the same rate that they were during the regular season. So when you have to rely on turnovers, that's just not a good method to win.
I think a big wild card in all of this is going to be Trayvon Diggs. I think that there's a world where he's a non-factor in this game. But I think there's also a world where he comes down with a big game-changing play. And I really don't know if there's going to be an in-between with him, just given where he's thrown in with this situation, only being in Green Bay for maybe a dozen days. So it's going to be really interesting to see how things play out there. It hasn't even been a dozen days. It was very recent. But, I mean, given everything that's going on, this is obviously the biggest game between these two teams since their last playoff matchup. And I was trying to see if this is a game that maybe has more steam. I wouldn't say so just because that one was a championship matchup, NFC championship. It doesn't quite live up to that, but I think it might be just as pivotal, more so for the Bears, because I think the Packers, riding off the recent success against the Bears, are willing to say, hey, we feel like we can do this. We've seen this happen before many times. For Chicago, we have the upper hand. We have our game at home. Can we get over the hump? I think this is a huge game for Chicago to just say, yes, we can do it, and we can do it twice in a row. We can do it with Caleb Williams. There's a lot more, I feel, on the line for the Bears and the Packers, just given how things have shaken out at this point. But, I mean, it's going to be a big game either way. And I think the other thing that we have to pay attention to, win or loss for either team, is the interaction between Ben Johnson and Matt LaFleur at the end of the game. That is going to be something that we'll have to keep an eye on. That's one of the main focuses afterwards, is how each side reacts, because someone's obviously going to get the upper hand. So that'll be interesting to see. But given everything, it's going to be close either way. I don't think that either team's going to pull away at a certain time.
I could agree with the comment that Trayvon Diggs might not do anything in this game. I mean, but he has the ability to, I mean, as silly as it sounds, like transform that secondary. He is so much better of a cornerback one than anybody that they had. And I'm not a Trayvon Diggs fan per se. I was very critical of him on the Cowboys. And I just don't. I think that he relied a lot on his interceptions his rookie year and his first few seasons, and that's how he got such a big name. I think he's an average cornerback, but I mean the Packers, they had nobody. Their secondary is not good, and when you don't got a pass rush that can get to the quarterback, their secondary really got exposed. And so I mean,
you have to be able to hold on to your guy for 6 to 7 seconds.
Right, exactly. And I mean, I know Rome Odunze is probably going to play, but I mean, the Bears, you got DJ Moore. Is Luther Burden healthy? He's back, isn't he?
He played
good.
gotta be
last
pretty
week.
close.
Yeah, he'll be
Yeah.
fine.
So I mean, they got some decent options, but that is going to be the biggest thing is if Trayvon Diggs is going to be a game changer. If he's gotten obviously accustomed enough, I know he just signed with Green Bay. That's why I agree that he might not be a factor in this game. But I mean, man, that was just such a good signing. It's something that Green Bay needed desperately. They needed a good cornerback one for any sort of chance of a deep playoff run, and they got him.
Unless
but
they
it's
give,
still going to come down to Rashawn Gary. I mean, not being a ghost out there, and the Packers
I
having
think-
some semblance.
I
of a
think
pass
this
rush.
might be a bit of a hot take, but Colin Oliver and Baron Sorrell should start splitting those snaps along with Kingsley and Igbare. Because if Gary's going to be out there just taking up space, I understand you're paying him $24 million a year. Like, I get that. That's just
He's not running on half of the plays. It pisses me
yeah,
off.
but they're going to
Rashawn
play him
Gary is just
specifically
such a
for
headache,
fine.
dude.
They're going to play him for that reason, and I get
Obviously, yeah.
it. But
I don't care how much you're paying someone, you make your money in games like this. They're going to put out the best players.
I mean, I hope that's the case because I think both of those young guys showed some potential last weekend in the useless game against the Vikings. But I mean, like, just get Gary off the field. I'm sick of watching him. I've been sick of watching him. Like, if he gives up on one play, I might just like throw a temper tantrum on Saturday.
Gives up all the time. It's so
One
annoying.
more quick thing on Trayvon Diggs. Must I remind both Bears and Packers fans that Trayvon Diggs was operating in a defense run by Matt Eberflus. And we all know how that has worked out in recent memory. So it's just a different game plan. He was taken away from his man-to-man scenarios. So I think that given everything, they're probably bringing him in to just say, hey, go one-on-one with the best wide receiver on the other team. That's something.
I mean, I know it was the
Vikings.
Vikings. I know it was the Vikings last week, but I mean, he didn't play half bad in that game. Like, obviously, he's new to the scheme. It was the last game of the season. Like, who really gives a crap? But I mean, there were some positives you could take away from that game. He wasn't targeted that often. He played decent enough in coverage. He had a good PFF grade. I mean, like, it's possible that he actually not transforms this defense, but improves it marginally for a playoff run.
I can't even say that I'm confident in picking either team in this one, to be quite honest with you. I think it's that close.
But you got him.
I know you. I know. In the end, one side's going to come out on top.
Gun to your
And
head.
I
Who are
don't
you
know.
picking?
Yeah, so let's go with those. Let's see who we let's get our picks here.
I gotta pick Packers, right? I would be wrong of me not to. I got them. It'll be close game, something along the lines of 24-21, probably with a possible field goal to end it or a field goal to get ahead, and then maybe quick late stop, which obviously easier said than done, as we saw in the last game. So I think that the Packers executed very well for 118 of the 120 regulation minutes that they've played the Bears in. So I think that as long as they stick on that 118 side of things, I think that this could be something that they could walk out of Soldier Field with a win with.
I mean, you could make an argument that the Packers could have run away with both of those games. They missed opportunities. And the first one, obviously, I think Chicago almost played better in that game that they lost than when they won. Because the Bears really only played well in that game for the last 5 minutes of regulation and then overtime. So they didn't really
And they got some help.
great of a performance. Now, like you said, Drew, I think this game is going to come down to the wire. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Both of the first two games this year did. I'm gonna disagree with you, though. I think Chicago finds a way to get it done. I think it's going to be a 27-24. Chicago, the thing that worries me the most is Caleb's probably going to get the ball back because he's gotten the ball at the end of those games almost every time. The Bears defense leaks a score. Caleb gets the ball back, and I don't think I trust this Packers defense to get a last-minute stop against this offense, who's been able to come up with the clutch score time and time again this season.
Can we get a triple doink to finish it off, just to put a bow on it?
I mean, it would be nice, but
Chris is an
obviously,
optimistic as usual.
my heart is with Green Bay, and I absolutely believe that they have a chance to win. Man, if I were putting money on it, I'd probably say the Bears, but I got to roll with the Packers for at least one game in these playoffs. The Bears have never beat the Green Bay Packers when Jordan Love played the entire game. Knock on wood, he plays the entire game, and Green Bay squeaks one out, and goes on some type of 2010 run, man. I've been saying it pretty much all season. 2010 Packers and this team have a scary amount of similarities. Obviously, that type of Cinderella run, happens once in a million. Not really, but it doesn't happen very often. But man, would it feel so good if Green Bay could fulfill their destiny. Jordan Love gets his Super Bowl at age 27. The Packers are the last seed. It's the last time they played the Bears in the playoffs. I mean,
well, I've brought this up at work too, and the one thing that I can remind you of is that playoff run did not begin on the back of a 4-game losing streak. Yes. They were very hot to finish the season, and they continued that momentum into the playoffs. So, in essence,
that's the biggest concern for me is that
they beat the Giants that year, and they barely beat Chicago at the end of the season.
But that was a good Chicago team, though. They won the division.
Absolutely. I mean, don't get me wrong.
We're not talking like they beat the 4-12 2014 Bears.
I'm
not trying to say that. I know Chicago was very good. Obviously, they went to the NFC Championship game. They were the 2 seed that year.
And they had to use Caleb Haney. Imagine how things could have been made different with Jay Cutler out there.
Yeah, but I mean, they faced Cutler in the last game of the season, last game of the regular season. So like the 2010 Packers. Yes, I definitely get that. These Packers, you're on a 4-game skid, but realistically, one of those games you were resting all your starters and you were 13.5-point underdogs to the Minnesota Vikings. And, the other one, my mind is literally blanking right now. No, it was
Denver.
Baltimore. Thank you. Yeah. That one you got Malik Willis starting, and that one the defense I think that game, for whatever reason, felt more of a shell shock without Micah Parsons than the Bears game, even after, which was the first game after he got injured. Mm-hmm. For whatever reason, that one felt more of like a shell shock of like, man, we're really missing this guy. But yeah, I mean, you don't have your starting quarterback out there for both of those games. I don't know. Again, I'm not saying that it's going to happen. I'm just saying, look up the amount of similarities between that team, the last team that the Packers won the Super Bowl with, and this team. It's scary how many similarities there are.
If you don't get to Caleb Williams, you will not win this game. Point blank, period.
That's a tough task.
That is very true.
I do want to ask really quickly before we move on. Say Green Bay loses this game in a blowout. They get blown out 34-14. What do they do with Matt LaFleur? Do they bring him back? Because this is the last year. This upcoming year is the last year of his current deal, which means that they're going to either have to extend him most likely or get rid of him. What do you think they do?
They're going to bring him back. I really don't know why this is a question. I know a lot of Packers fans would love to see him gone. I don't think he's a great coach, but I mean, what has he done to deserve getting fired? I mean he won. He's been to the playoffs for the last 3 seasons. He was the number 1 seed multiple years with that Aaron Rodgers team. I know they've disappointed in the playoffs, but still, 2 years ago they won as the 7th seed. And if it weren't for Anders Carlson, they probably would have gone to the championship game that year at least. And, I understand last season they lost in the first round. And the end of the seasons have been disappointing. But realistically, I mean, unless you somehow got John Harbaugh, I really don't see who else in the market would even be remotely a better option than Matt LaFleur. So I think firing him would be stupid.
Yeah, I think the fact that people are bringing up we should get rid of Matt LaFleur and bringing Kevin Stefanski has been
That is
It
the
very-
dumbest
Who
thing
would
I've
tell
ever
Nazir
heard.
That's
that?
very funny. That's just very
You
funny.
should not hire Kevin Stefanski. He is not a better coach than Matt LaFleur is.
And proofs in the pudding, I think, with that one.
Yeah.
But
Jalen,
yeah,
who's
I mean,
your pick?
that's all I have.
I was waiting for y'all to get done bantering. I've been saying all week to myself that the Packers will win this game. I wouldn't say comfortably, but I would say they would win this game by a score. But as I've seen and thought about all of the past weeks and seeing with the playoffs being unpredictable, the Bears are just that team that's very unpredictable. You don't know what team you're getting. You don't know if you're getting that team to where they put BTA to the Cowboys, or you're getting that team that lost to a backup quarterback with the Baltimore Ravens. So the playoffs are very unpredictable. So I'm gonna have to roll with my Bears, even though I've been saying all week the Packers would win this. But I'm gonna have to roll with the Bears because the unpredictability of the Bears, right? Sometimes the offense looks steady going. They get off the slow starts a lot in the first half. And obviously, if they do that in this game, they will lose. But you think the past 2 weeks last week they got off to a slow start, but the week before that they've been keeping up with the 49ers touchdown for touchdown for touchdown, right? And
That was the game that impressed me the most out of them.
yeah, that's why
even though they lost, that's
why I look back on and be like the unpredictability of this team, right? They've had a notion of all year coming out to slow starts in the first half and not doing pretty much of anything in the first half. They wait to the fourth quarter to turn it up, which you cannot do in this game, especially in the playoffs. But after what I've seen against the Panthers, after what I've seen against the 49ers and what they did the whole game, they came out from jump. The defense scored first, and they came out from jump, keeping up with the 49ers the whole game, touchdown for touchdown. So I'm going to have to go Bears. I would say Bears 24, Packers 20.
I think this game's going to be a bit more high scoring because I don't think either one of these defenses is capable of holding the other offense down for more than a couple quarters. The Bears might get off to a slow start like they have in the first two matchups, but by the time that fourth quarter comes around, Ben Johnson just knows what he's doing. His sequencing's a lot better. Caleb Williams kind of grows into games, I've noticed too, where he'll start out a bit rougher, and then as we go throughout, he gets gradually better as the drives go along, and by the end, that's when they call him the Iceman, unfortunately.
I'm not the biggest Caleb Williams fan, but he's the quarterback for my team, so I just need him to play well. So
I'll say he's growing on me a little bit, as much as I hate to say it. There's just been some games that he's had that have just been wildly impressive to me.
Well, I was a diehard Justin Fields fan, so it was like it was kind of a hard transition to do, especially from last year. But as long as we keep winning games and the matter the offense looks actually competent, I can say that I'm not opposed to Caleb sticking around for a while, but yeah, I'm just not the biggest fan of him. But I will say that he's on the Bears, and I just want my Bears to win. So
I mean, I have to say he has you in a lot better of a position than Fields probably would have at this point. So I think it's pretty clear to me that Poles made the right decision.
He's mobile, at least. I mean, he's a hard dude to sack. I'll
to each his own. I mean, because we never really seen Fields with a healthy offensive line, right? We never seen Fields with a competent offensive line and a competent play scheme. So to each his own. But and then he went to where you see how he looked with the Steelers. He wasn't terrible, but you see how he looked with the Jets, and they don't have a competent offense apparently. So as we've seen this season, so he's in bad situation after bad situation. So sucks for him and wish the best for him, but I can't really say that they would have done better with Fields at the helm either, because when he came out of college, he was a passer. So But
All right,
Caleb,
fellas.
you make those off the balance throws, and a bad thing that's really messing with him the most is that he likes to throw off the run, even when he doesn't have to, and he throws freaking fireballs when the guy is like 4 yards, 5 yards in front of him. That's his problem. So, and that's ultimately, I think, why we lost against the Lions. He freaking fireballed the ball to, I think Burden on that third down, and they had to punt, right? So I'm like, stop throwing fireballs when they're like 2 feet in front of you. Like, that's the problem, I think. But
yeah, he has the ability to win games, but he certainly has the ability to lose games as well. That's for sure.
I think you guys about nailed it on the head there with Caleb. I mean, like the biggest thing for him this year is we got to put it into perspective. He's only a second-year quarterback, so there's still a lot of room for him to grow. Yeah. This is only year one with Ben Johnson, and look what Ben Johnson did for Jared Goff through the years. I mean, like he became a top 10 quarterback again after he looked dead to rights his last year in LA and his first year in Detroit. So, I mean, the guy's clearly a miracle worker, and the skill position players are only going to get better too. I mean, Rome Odunze is a second-year player. Colston Loveland, Ja'Day Walker, and Luther Burden are all rookies. So, I mean, there's going to be a lot of growth from this offense at all levels. Kyle Monunga is also a rookie this year. Offensive line, Ozzie Trapilos look good for them. I mean, them and
2018
Matthew Golden, I think will take a step at some point. Like, there's just
let's rattle this thing off, fellas. Let's rattle this thing off.
So let's go quick here and get all these other picks out the way, and then get our Super Bowl prediction. We got about 5 minutes, so let's go quick.
All right,
in the Rams Panthers game, I got the Rams. Go ahead.
Give me the Panthers. No, give me the Rams.
Joe maybe's going to be disappointed in us, but I got Rams 34-17.
There's no chance the Panthers win this game. 0.
49ers and Eagles. I got the 49ers winning that game.
Give me Eagles.
I got to go Philly just because they're at home. It's in the cold. San Fran is so injured, it's not even funny. And I think Philly just has that defense to be able to neutralize a Kyle Shanahan type offense. So I'll go Philly 17 or 20-17. I'll go 2017 Philly. It just, I don't know, like for how much I crap on Philly for playing bad this year, it's hard for me to believe that they would actually lose in the first round after being Super Bowl champs and just having all that veteran experience. They've been to 2 Super Bowls. Sirianni, I don't think he's a great coach, but he knows how to win in January, and that's really all that matters at this point.
This has got to be the toughest game, I think, for me to predict. I keep going back and forth, but I think the Eagles are really sneaky. I think they're sneaky good. I think that a lot of people are down on them this year because of their play, but I think they're picking it up at the right time. But with that being said, give me the Niners. I know they're super injured, but they held the Seahawks to 13 points still with that injured team.
Yep.
And the Seahawks defense is really, really good. So, I mean, the fact that
but so
they
is
only
Philly's,
scored
though.
3. Don't give me, but they're not as good as Seattle's. So I think the Niners. I don't know. Like I said, I keep going back and forth, but give me the Niners.
All right, so I got Niners. I got Niners and the Bears, and in divisional, I got the Niners winning that one.
I'd have to agree with you in that scenario. Like Chicago, I think their firepower just won't be able to last against a team like that.
Just realized I picked all the wild cards. But anyways, give me. I guess it would be San Francisco at LA. That would be a heck of a game. Give me the Rams in that one.
So I would have Eagles, Bears. I think that game's about as much of a toss-up as the Green Bay one is, because I mean, on one hand, Philly has all the playoff experience, but on the other, Chicago destroyed them in November. However, the difference between that game and now is Philly was pretty cold at that point. They've rattled off some wins. I don't count week 18. They didn't play anyone of note, really. So they were able to beat Buffalo on the road. They know how to win on the road. They beat Green Bay on the road earlier this year, too. They beat Kansas City. I mean, I know they weren't good this year, but at that time, everyone still thought they were. Like, they've been able to win on the road in tough environments. Give me Philly 21-17.
Man, I might be a lunatic. I'm drawing things out. In the divisional, I have Rams against Eagles. I'll take the Rams there. Very odd one. I just like their offense a lot. Then I have Green Bay and Seattle. Maybe a little bit of favoritism, but I got Green Bay there. No, that's obviously going to be a tough one given the Seattle offense. I know, but
so I got. Go ahead.
Sorry, just quickly.
Sorry.
I have the Rams in Seattle. I'm taking Seattle to play the 49ers in the championship, NFC championship.
I got the Rams in that game. I got Rams Seattle in that matchup. I got the Rams. I think the Rams played really well against the Seahawks. They almost needed like a Green Bay Chicago type situation just to beat the Rams in that game. So I think the Rams with Devontae back, Puka's healthy. The majority of their offense is pretty healthy for this playoff run as long as Devontae comes back and he performs. I think this Rams team is still good enough to win the Super Bowl.
Give me so my last divisional game was Seattle Green Bay. I'll take Seattle in that one. I don't think Green Bay would be able to do much against that defense again. And then in the championship game, I'd have Seattle and LA. And that's such a tough. I really like Seattle for the defense. But I trust Stafford a lot more than I would Darnold. So give me the Rams to go to the Super Bowl.
I got the Niners and Seahawks playing each other in the championship. I'm taking the Niners to go back to the Super Bowl. Get back.
I got Rams, Philly. Give me the Rams. I mean, like, for all the reasons I just listed. Philly's defense is very good. I don't think they're good enough to stop the Rams for 4 quarters.
I got Rams versus Green Bay, given this is probably where the magic ends. If there is this much magic, I got the Rams in the Super Bowl.
On the AFC side, the wild card, I got the Texans beating the Steelers. I got the Bills beating Jacksonville and the Patriots beating Chargers.
Yeah, I got Houston beating Pittsburgh as much as I'd love to see an Aaron Rodgers playoff run. I just don't think it's happening. Houston's defense is too good. Buffalo, Jacksonville. I do think Josh Allen's playoff experience. That's very true. And every time that a new pope is elected, they have gone to the Super Bowl and been the 1 seed.
So it's that versus the 2010 Packers parallels.
They got God on their side. Seattle's got God on their side, and then the Bears have the Pope on their side. So, I mean, go figure. But AFC side, yeah, Houston over Pittsburgh. I'm going to take Jacksonville over Buffalo. Although I think if Buffalo wins one, I think that they could get hot and easily go to the Super Bowl. I really think that they're a dark horse. And I'll take the Chargers over the Patriots. I know that the Chargers O-line is awful. But I think that the Patriots, look, they have 2 wins over teams above 500 this season. This is going to be a tough test for them. Drake May, he's an MVP candidate, but he's under the lights. First time in the playoffs. I just feel like the moment might be a little too big, given their lack of good teams they played. So I'll take the Chargers over New England.
All right, my wild card. I am taking the Steelers over the Texans. Just because I think, given obviously the Texans are a great defense, but if you're looking for just like a one of the best quarterback minds to dissect that defense, out of all the quarterbacks in the playoffs, Aaron Rodgers is probably one.
He's
of the best.
He's got to stay on his feet, though.
He does have to stay on his feet. I understand that, but I think that they have enough weapons that they can pull
DK's coming
different
back.
people in different directions. So I think that Steelers win that one. Give me the Jaguars beating the Bills. I think if it wasn't Buffalo, I think the Bills would win that one. I think it's a different atmosphere. I think that this is the best Jags team that we've seen since their run. What was it, 2017 that they had?
Like Bortles.
Yeah, and Trevor Lawrence is a better quarterback than Blake Bortles. Hot take. But
Well, just kidding.
on the other hand,
Well, I would think that's a hot
The other
take.
hand-
So.
then I got the Pats beating the Chargers. I'm going overwhelmingly home teams in the AFC.
Sorry, Nazir.
I'm also gonna go chalk for AFC. I think Old Man Rodgers finds a way to get it done in that game somehow, some way. I mean, all he has to do is stay upright, and I think they have a chance at least. Just with like Drew said, how great his mind is. It was always the Jags. Give me Jacksonville, a la Sam Strash. And I don't think the Chargers. I know you guys say that they stand a chance. I don't think they do. I think it's not even close.
For the divisional round, I got the Broncos over the Texans, and then I got the Patriots over the Bills.
Divisional round, I would have Chargers at Denver. I think that's where the Chargers run would end. Give me Denver in that one. And then we'd have Houston at Jacksonville. Give me the Texans to upset the Jaguars and get to their first ever championship game. Defense wins championships, baby.
All right.
I know where Nolan likes to go with I know where he's going with the Texans, but I got Denver over Pittsburgh. I mean, that's where they're, like you said, with the Chargers, that's where the run ends. I got Jacksonville over New England, though. This Jags team is white hot right now, and I think the league should be fearing them.
I got the Broncos.
Hold on. I didn't go yet.
Go ahead.
No, I'm the same as Chris. I got Denver over the Steelers, and I got the Jags over the Pats. This is where the Pats kind of meet their match.
I got the Broncos over the Patriots to go to the Super Bowl to set up the Broncos and 49ers.
I'd have Denver and Houston. Give me the Texans, baby. Houston to the Super Bowl. I really think so. I got a gut feeling about them this year. I think that this defense, I think that this is going to be a la 2015 Broncos-esque team where their offensive play just good enough. They're going to really rely on that defense to get them all the way. I think that it would be a boring game for, if you're not in defense for a Houston Broncos game, but I think the Houston Texans just have just a slight edge defensively over Denver. So give me Houston, LA Super Bowl.
I think the Jags do exactly what they did to Denver during week 15. I think that was that the two teams faced off against each other. Give me Jacksonville Rams in the Super Bowl. And then I got the Rams in the Super Bowl to win it all.
I think Chris is looking at my paper. I got the Jags beating Denver. It was always the Jags. And then I'll let you guys go Super Bowl first, just to keep the order.
I got the Broncos winning the Super Bowl. Me coming on here to talk crap to Nazir.
Give me the Rams. I think LA pulls it out over Houston.
I thought defense wins championships, though.
Yeah, I know.
But you like this
Rams have a
offense?
good defense, though.
I'd love to see it. Believe me. But yeah, I think that the Rams. I don't know. I think that Stafford is going to go on another playoff run. He's got another ring in him before he calls it a career. I just think that this LA team, was so hot, and then now they're kind of cold. I think they're going to pick it back up, and their momentum will carry them through. I like their offense more than I would like a Bo Nix led Broncos team to upset the Texans. I think that Stafford and them could do just enough. I think it'll be a close game. I think it'll be a great Super Bowl. But give me LA.
Chris already did his.
Yeah, but does anyone know if Eric Weddle is available?
I don't think so. I think
Might be.
he's
You can
probably
get anybody to come out of retirement now, I hear.
so. That'll be something.
Does he have
But
any college eligibility left?
I think at this point anybody could have an extra 3 years sitting somewhere. But I'm also taking Rams Jags. I think that Chris and I, for some reason, for this bracket, are on the same wavelength. I in a Super Bowl matchup between these two teams, I think that the Rams would win. So I guess the Rams are my Super Bowl champions.
Oh, that was a very long topic that we had. Sorry about that, everyone. We had to talk about Bears, Packers, and then we got playoff breakdown just because of where we are.
Big story of the week, baby. Big story of the week.
But we'll jump into our next topic, which we got to go extremely fast with, is the college football playoff semifinals. So we have our bracket updated with the playoff bracket. We got Indiana and Oregon, like we thought, and then we got Ole Miss and Miami, like we thought as well.
Like we thought, yeah, right.
Yeah,
This is the best college football playoff bracket since it started. I'm just gonna say that it's the best one we've seen.
This is the first Final Four without Ohio State, Alabama, or Notre Dame, I think, since the playoffs.
or Georgia.
Yeah.
Even Georgia's out. Wow.
I love it. But realistically, that means we're getting the national championship this weekend. And it's between Oregon and Indiana. Whoever wins that is going to win the national championship.
That's what I think as well, yeah.
And it's going to be the Indiana Hoosiers, baby. Fernando Mendoza is carrying this team to the chip. And I don't know. I think it's going to be a great game. I think that Oregon-Indiana, like, with all the NFL games on this week with the playoffs, if there's only one football game you can watch all week, I would say watch Oregon and Indiana. Because I think it is going to be absolute cinema. I'll take Indiana to edge them out just a little bit, but I think it's going to be a fantastic game. I think Ole Miss Miami could be a good game too. I think Indiana and Miami are going to meet in the chip. I think Indiana's D is going to help them out, take them the distance. Not enough against Indiana though, but I love this college football playoff. I cannot express how happy this makes me to see these four teams left.
That means you got good football play.
Shout out Ole Miss for losing their head coach and still being able to go this far. I think
what a story, dude.
Yeah. I think for this story, I'm going to pick Ole Miss to win that game just because I don't like Carson Beck. I think he's not great. And I want Ole Miss to succeed a lot more than I want Miami. I didn't even want Miami in the playoff to begin with, so this might just be me holding a grudge against them. I got Ole Miss, Indiana. I think Indiana cruises in that game, though, and proves that the Big Ten is the superior college football conference.
This is crazy.
Yeah, and as I look at it, I agree that the national championship winner is probably up on the top side of that bracket. I think it'll be very close. I think that Oregon. Wow.
Oregon.
Came out of nowhere.
Oregon.
You thinking
Oregon.
about Origin?
Origin is a legitimate threat. I think that there's parts of this game they will lead. But I think that Indiana wins. And then I think on the bottom side, by the way, before I even get into this pick, if you pick Indiana and Miami, it's the ultimate screw you to Ohio State fans, because those are the two teams that beat them.
Maybe I have to go. Maybe I have to switch my pick on the bottom then.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, does Miami's win over Ohio State make Indiana's less impressive?
No, absolutely not.
No. That just shows that Ohio State was a really great team. If they only had one loss to the possible national champion, that means Miami's win is actually legit. And I think if they beat that Ohio State team, I think that they're going to go to the national championship. But I think they'll fall to Indiana as well. I have Indiana to the moon. So I got one of my coworkers who's an alumni that went to Indiana. So I'm really pulling for Indiana right now. So that'd be really, really special to see. And it'd be very big for the Big Ten because it'd actually spread the conference out. It spread the conference out. You got Pat Fitzgerald back at Michigan State. I don't know how excited I am about that, but hopefully we win. But
Wisconsin's been making some good moves in the portal so far too. So
good Lord.
Yeah, I mean, if we can get Michigan State football back to where it was, that means the Big Ten is really one of the superior conferences up there with the ACC. If Michigan State can come back and be good.
Well, before we get further on attention, I will make my pick on the bottom. As much as I would love Ole Miss to stick it to the man, make Lane Kiffin regret his decision, Miami loves being hated. And I think that fuels their fire. You can see it every time that Michael Irvin undoes his belt. I think they go to the national championship, but I think they do lose to Indiana.
I love that it's just not an SEC championship game, national championship game. Like you're gonna have a different champion this year. I mean, not saying that Ohio State.
I guess it just means more up north these days. Just means more in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to Nolan's point, this has been a great playoff, and I think this is what they had in mind when they went to 12 teams. Last year was kind of whatever. There was a little bit of extracurriculars. I think that some people and some extra thoughts that people had about how that turned out. But given what happened this year, I think that it's solidified that this could probably be the way that things play out for the foreseeable future within that college football.
Honestly, do you lose intentionally to not get a bye? Like the last game of the season, do you just lose intentionally now? The bye teams 1-7 in the last 2 years that they've had this 12-team bracket.
Yeah.
Just kind of, I mean, it's like
you're off for a month, really, if you think about it.
Yeah, and like that Ohio State team, like that's why Miami's win wasn't as impressive as Indiana's, because Ohio State coming off of a loss, all the momentum taken out of their sails, and they got to sit 3-4 weeks, and come on the field. That's a tough task.
Well, that's another reason why maybe you don't try and lose the last game of the season, but I mean,
you just go. I mean, like the conference championship weekend, like you just try your hardest to win the conference. Like,
I was joking about losing the last game of the season, but I was just making a point.
Yeah. Well, just holding you to it.
Well, with that, we go jump into our last one real quick. Give a few thoughts about Trae Young being traded to the Washington Wizards last night. So we have Trae Young being traded to the Washington Wizards for Corey Kispert and CJ McCollum. No picks involved, just a straight trade of players. And there was word that Trae Young wanted to go to Washington. So that's an interesting choice. But I have no idea why he did that. I have no idea why you want to go to Washington. Not saying that Washington is a terrible organization to go to. They just haven't been good for the past few years. But I don't know. It's just that's a pretty that was a choice. So that's like a pretty tough pill for me to swallow that you wanted to go there. But I think he just wanted to get out of Atlanta, I think, because of how Jalen Johnson was performing. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, I mean, this has got to be, I think, one of the most anticlimactic trades of all time. I really don't know why. I mean, I understand that Washington, they got a good young core, and they could be good, in a few years' time, maybe 3-4 years, something like that. But I mean, if you're Trae Young, you've already been on a loser. You've already, wouldn't you want to be on a win now team? The fact that would be your first choice, they're like, hey, man, we just, we really want Anthony Davis for some reason. If you're the Hawks, and we're gonna trade you. We're gonna get you out of here. We know you don't want to be here. Where do you want to go? And he's like, the Washington Wizards. I want to go on the Washington Wizards, who have 10 wins this season. That's awesome. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it's a choice that he
they're
made.
Still in a rebuilding process. It's not like they're 1 or 2 years away from being really good. I mean, at best, in the next 1 to 2 years, they're a playing team. I mean, really, they're not getting to the top of the East. They're not going to be actual contenders for the championship. So yeah, that was interesting. But the Hawks, I think the Hawks lost this trade still. Look, I get you're trying to trade for Anthony Davis, but I mean, you got the best player out of the package of 2 players that you got. for Trae Young was a 34-year-old CJ McCollum, who you want to pair up with Anthony Davis, and that's going to be your big two that you think is going to go win you the chip. Davis is 32 years old. His nickname is Day-to-Day Davis, for crying out loud. He's always injured.
Day-to-day Davis.
And a 34-year-old CJ McCollum who's still balling, but he's 34. So, I mean, I don't know what the Hawks are doing. I don't know why they're so desperate to go, get Anthony Davis, apparently. This trade, just both sides, it just makes no sense to me. I think they both lost.
And for a fit standpoint, to go get Anthony Davis, why? It just, I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me. You got Jalen Johnson. You got Kristaps every fifth game that he plays. Like, I don't know. Like, that move just doesn't make any sense to me. And this move doesn't really make any sense from the Hawks' perspective either. You trade a guy who was regarded as your franchise centerpiece until this year for basically a bag of Doritos. They got no picks out of this. How do you make that trade and manage to not get a single pick? That just
I got to get some kind of pick or something. I don't care if it's a second round pick.
It's just,
you got to get a young player out of it. You can't just trade him for two. I wouldn't even say aging stars. Like,
when Corey Kispert's a
McCollum
role
is on the
player,
back
he's
end,
not
he'll
even
retire
like
in the next few years.
he's not a great, like, it's not like he's a huge catch being thrown into this. It's CJ McCollum is like the headliner here, and like Nolan said, he's 34 years old.
Well, let me have a hand at this. I think there is a lot of comedic value to this trade. Obviously, given the fact that it could have been Luka many years ago, that trade happened, and now Hawks fans are left with CJ McCollum on the back end of it. You can argue that CJ McCollum is not Luka Doncic. I'm willing to go to bat for that Atlanta a little bit. I think from a leadership standpoint, would you rather have CJ McCollum or Trae Young?
Okay, that's great, but at the end of the day, if you want a leader, why,
I think they realized if they want to win a championship, it's not going to be Trae Young that's leading the charge, especially if he wants to go and suck up. I
was going to say, like,
okay, hear me out.
CJ McCollum helping.
Hear me out. Trae Young is going to want $1 billion on his next contract, and if that's not a guy that's going to give you a championship, we're not going to pay him.
Absolutely. I understand that. I understand wanting to move off cap space. That's all fine and well. But at the end of the day, you're still trying to win a championship. And they made the move to get the cap space, to free the cap space up for Anthony Davis to pair along with CJ McCollum. That's not a championship duo, plain and simple.
I think that there's a lot of value in the guys that are there right now. And I think that with a young core like that, you need a veteran to be able to lead them through a playoff series. And they thought it was because obviously the run a couple of years ago was fun with Trae Young leading them to conference finals. But I think everyone there knows he's a fun player, but he's not enough. And I don't think that I think they found out he's not the star player on the championship team. And I think that they were ready to move on and let some of this other young core try things out. I think that bringing in CJ McCollum is a guy that can give you production, and I think that he can help get these guys set up on the right track. I don't know if he's necessarily a guy who's a cornerstone. I don't think he's the number one guy on that team, to be quite honest with you. But I think that given the depth that it provides him, the financial freedom it gives him in the future, I think that this sets him off on a better path, especially if Trae Young was not happy being there anyways. And I think the reason that it's the Washington Wizards coming down to it is I think that there's probably 25 or 26 NBA GMs who didn't want Trae Young anyways. I think that a lot of people are not willing to take a chance on him given some of his track record. Obviously, he's a great player on the court, but there's more that comes to it, and that's a guy that's going to want a lot of money. And I think that Washington's been looking for a superstar, and they got their superstar.
I will say, I'll say this before we
on-court superstar. Let me be clear.
I'll say this before we head into final thoughts. That if I was the Hawks, I would have tried to get that pick this year to go try to get AJ, Boozer, or Peterson or something. I would have had to get a pick this year for that. Because there's no way I'm giving you Trae Young and I
That's
can't get a
where
superstar
that's
in
where I
return.
come into question is the obviously I think that you got to get at least a pick out of it, but
I would
I
have
can
got their
see
lottery
where the
pick this
Hawks are
year.
coming from.
I would have definitely took their lottery pick this year. Then you can have Trae Young. Yeah, I would have traded you Trae Young for just the lottery pick.
That's probably a deal breaker for
I
the
don't think
Wizards.
that they would. I don't think Atlanta or I don't think Washington would give him the lottery pick.
No, definitely not.
Well, to each his own. Then I can't give you Trae Young because how am I going to replace him with the C.J. McCollum or Anthony Davis? There's no young star there in those moves, right? There's no young for the future. You got Jalen Johnson. Yes, but he needs to be paired up with somebody like. Look at what we got. We got Keontae and Lowry, and then you got a Walter Clayton, and then you got all the other guys filling in the hole. But you have two bona fide all-star players right now. The Hawks just got maybe one right now. Like if that, they got two guys. We got two guys that we can transition and take the game over. We got two guys that have a duo to take over the game. Like Jalen Johnson needs a side help, needs a sidekick. And they didn't even go get
my question?
I think CJ McCollum could be that guy.
My question with this
Not
is,
at
where does
35, no.
Jalen Johnson actually fit into this? Like, if they're going to try and trade for Anthony Davis, it doesn't feel like he's really fitting in that much. Like, are they building this
him at
around what
3.
he wants or what?
But they'll probably put him at the 3. But
I don't think that move's going to get done at this point.
yeah. Well, we came to final thoughts. Got to get a final thoughts before I got to log off here.
Bruno Mars is back, guys. It's a big deal. It's only going to be his 4th solo album. So I'm so excited for it. He's one of the most productive, given the fact that he's put out
quality
between his
quantity.
3 albums, 4 albums if you count Silk Sonic, he's put out maybe 35 or 36 songs with him as on the byline, and about 20 of them have been diamond and another 15 have been platinum. He consistently makes heaters. I'm very excited to see what comes of this one. There's this first song coming out on Friday. I'm pretty sure that will be at the top of my list
Tomorrow.
Packers Bears Saturday. That should be a good game. Milwaukee Bucks lose again last night in Golden State. Wasn't able to watch it really, but I mean, this Bucks team, I just don't think they're going anywhere. And with their upcoming schedule, I think it's more in their best interest to blow it up than actually try and foolishly trade for another piece like a Zach LaVine, for example, that I don't think they're going to go anywhere even with a player like that. So, I mean, John Horst, if you're listening, just blow the team up, please. I mean, it's time. It's time.
Yeah, Packers, Bears, super excited. I'm just super excited for the playoffs. It's crazy that they're here already. Seems like yesterday we were just watching the first game of the season, Spitgate, and now here we are. Yeah,
what a season it was.
I don't really have more of a final thought than that. I'm just super stoked for the game, and I'm super excited to see these playoffs because this NFL season has been unbelievable.
Well, I'll say my final thought will be job update. I got hired by Locked On Podcast Network to run the social media baseball pages. So I'll be doing with all the Locked On Cubs, Brewers, all that stuff. I'll be creating shorts and clips and stuff for them, and I'm doing what I wanted to do. Actually, I get to be around baseball and cut up and create social media stuff, and yeah, it's pretty fun. I mean, it's a really good opportunity. I'm happy I got the call. I mean, I was, I waited a few months. I had talked to them about, because if anybody doesn't know, I work for David Locke, and he's the CEO of Locked On. He's the one that created it, and I worked with him for the Jazz. So went to him, and he told me he got people in contact with me, and I received the email saying that they're trying to finish to do something and create a program or create a position to do something. And I got the call and said, I'll be doing the baseball pages. I'll be managing all of their baseball pages, all their social media baseball pages. So it's pretty cool. it's a full blown team with it too. They got people who do NBA, NFL, NHL. It's a lot, and I'm happy to start that up. So
Remember us when you get famous.
I don't know. I don't know if there's too many social media people that can walk around and say they're celebrities because they're behind the camera.
Well, but you'll be a
Yeah.
show host soon enough.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that works. Yeah, that could. Yeah, I hope to do that. I want to be on Locked On Cubs. That's the most thing. I want to be on Locked On Cubs the most.
Someday it'll be Nicholson Bourne podcast.
Yeah, or we just elevate this podcast. You know, we
We're
become
coming.
famous this
We're
way.
coming.
So
We
we all
get
become
on more
famous.
than once a week.
Shot of Sports Network.
Yeah. Well, we all got
It
lives.
was the
so, I
holidays.
mean,
Come on, man. Give us a break.
Two of us were.
Yeah, we
the
all
night
have
shift,
real
so, I
jobs
mean,
now. Like we can't,
I'm crashing the second we get off here.
right? So I'm like, and I gotta
Chris
go
got
do
a
stuff
busy
for them,
day ahead
so-
of him tonight.
Well, we've come to the end, and this will probably be the only show we have this week because I think Nazir is back in Chicago. But go ahead, subscribe, like, share, and comment. Follow our podcast page on other platforms. Links are in the description box below. We have a Spotify, Instagram, and TikTok. We will post reels of this show. We do have shorts coming after this show. You can just watch the topics, whatever topic you want. We got polls, question boxes. You can always DM us on things you want to have answered or things you may have. We dive into other topics like music, film, travel, or life outtakes as well. So we'll be getting into a little bit of those, maybe a movie review coming up at the All-Star break, when sports has slowed down a little bit. So with that, thank you for watching, and we'll see you on possibly Tuesday.